Hello, hello, my darlings, my beautiful cherry tomatoes. I love you anyway. How are you? I hope you're doing great. So this is that time of the year when I am combining my all absolute favorite, literally 10 out of 10 Arabian, Middle Eastern fragrances and tell you all about them. So this is basically a little tutorial on how to smell like an Arabian princess, and I honestly love doing my Middle Eastern / Oud fragrances list because it really still excites me very much. And yeah, if you are new here, hello my darling, please do not forget to subscribe and we can jump right into it. I have some oldies but goodies just to remind you if you're new here, just to show you quickly what I've been all about for the past year or so on YouTube here. And I also have quite a bit of new things. So yes, let me just jump right into it. And I think we can start with absolute oldie but a goodie. This is a great introduction to any rose oud combination. It's a very, very easy fragrance, and that is Jo Malone Velvet Rose and Oud. I remember first time smelling it years ago in Copenhagen, and it was quite chilly outside, and I remember this fragrance developing so beautifully. I had to get it straight away, and now I have my second bottle. And I must say, even though it's Jo Malone, it does really last very, very well. To me, it is quite prominent on praline and cloves. So if you like that slight, fresh, aromatic hue to your fragrances, you're gonna love it. Even though it is a typical rose oud combination, there is some of a fresher facet to it. So I think this is one of those heavier scents that are still very much good to go during the daytime if you love rose and oud. So yes, Velvet Rose and Oud from Jo Malone is a gorgeous, you know, your first oud, perfect. So yeah, that is the first one. The second one that I have here is not really rose and oud, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And it really does give me that beautiful Middle Eastern, very strong unisex vibe. But don't be afraid of this fragrance. Not only it has some sweet facets, it actually is gorgeous to mix with other fragrances in your collection, like fruity ones or vanilla ones. It's just beautiful. And that is Santal Noir from Dior, and this is the first one that I'm going to show you. I have another Dior from private collection in my mind I want to talk about, but Santal Noir is my absolute love. This is such a beautiful fragrance. I know some people have some troubles with it for some reason, but if you are used to heavier fragrances that are not too floral, you're gonna love it. If you love woody fragrances, it is a gorgeous, slightly fruity-ish, because there's quite a bit of ambrette in here, sandalwood with some rose. Absolutely amazing, amazing. Very, very strong, dry wood, slightly burned with that fruity touch. It is just incredible, and this fragrance will last you a lifetime because you don't really need much, and also you don't really have to you know, overspray yourself because it's so potent. And I love mixing it with other roses, with vanillas, with fruity fragrances. So there is so much to do with this fragrance. I think it's a staple in your collection. So that is Santal Noir. Another Dior that I want to talk about, which is more of your typical rose oud, is called Oud Rosewood, and that is also a very, very woody fragrance. It is also very strong, super massive sillage, just like Santal Noir. It is just a little bit different in terms of the woods that have been used. So yeah, in Oud Rosewood you have definitely that oud in there, but also that beautiful palisander that is just amazing. So yes, these two, Santal Noir or Oud Rosewood, are absolutely fantastic from the collection. I'm not the biggest fan of Oud Ispahan. There's also Violet Oud or Purple Oud, which I think is very interesting, but it leans more masculine, whereas Oud Rosewood and Santal Noir are definitely more on that unisex spectrum. So yes, gorgeous, gorgeous fragrances. Another one, let's go very feminine one. It is Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper from Kayali. And with Kayali, you know, you don't spend that much money on them, and they have made such masterpieces when it comes to their latest releases, starting with Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper. I adore this one. This one is a beautiful spicy rose with beautiful vanilla dry down. Absolutely gorgeous. I love wearing this, literally any occasion appropriate to me. This one is definitely way more mellow, way more feminine, but it does mix incredibly well with Santal Noir. So that combo is actually fantastic. So yes, first Kayali is this one, and I absolutely adore it. Adore it, adore it. The longevity is also pretty good with moderate sillage. Again, that vanilla here mellows everything down. It is more contemporary. It's not your typical rose oud. There is no oud here. So if you are afraid of those very strong oud fragrances, but you want something Middle Eastern to feel like an Arabian princess, I think this one will be perfect. So yes, Pink Pepper 25, fantastic fragrance. And another one that I have here is Elixir 11 from Kayali as well, and this is my absolute baby, especially for summertime. This shines in hot weather. This makes me feel like I'm Princess Jasmine. This is my perfect daytime fragrance. I would say this, even though it's still quite strong, is more of my daytime fragrance, and Pink Pepper is more for nights out because of that spicy peppery facet. And this is just amazing. So Elixir 11, I've talked about it so much, guys, so I don't want to repeat myself too much in this video, but this one is this beautiful soury apple that you have at the top, mixed with patchouli, vanilla, rose. Gorgeous, just a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. You'd also have some hint of florals in here. So yes, these both from Kayali are definitely like top-notch Middle Eastern Arabian princess fragrances that you can wear during the daytime, and also they're not very heavy on woods. So I think for, you know, starting your collection when it comes to those Middle Eastern vibes, I think these two will be perfect. So yes, that is Kayali. And now, guys, I have actually a lot of fragrances that are absolutely amazing with a higher price, but I do have their very inexpensive alternatives. So let me jump into it. Maybe let's start with my absolute love, which is Maison Francis Kurkdjian Oud Satin Mood. This fragrance just literally puts me in a mood. It's absolutely incredible. Massive compliment getter. It is so sweet, so vanillic. Of course, you do still get that rose oud combination, but it's so yummy. Absolutely amazing fragrance, I must say. This, I think, if I could only have one, it would be it. This gives me so much of what I want and love about fragrances. It gives me projection, sillage, longevity, a lot of vanilla, sexiness, darkness, and yet it is appropriate for fun times. So yes, I always wear it out because I know I'm going to be smelled very heavily and people are going to be obsessed. I remember wearing this to my friend's wedding early last year, and people were recognizing me by the scent. There was a guy that didn't look up when I was coming through to his table, and he was like, Oh, I knew it was you coming because it smelled like Paulina, and that is it. That is it, guys. So yes, Oud Satin Mood. Not to ramble too much about it, but is my absolute favorite. But I have something quite similar that is definitely lower on the price, very, very budget friendly, and that is Nina Ricci Rose Extase Absolu. And they're not the same. This Nina Ricci one is not as vanillic, is not as wholly rounded. It's like, you know, with Oud Satin Mood, you're like in a cocoon. And with this one, it's just your regular good fragrance, very nicely done, but not as amazing as Kurkdjian, but it's still done by Kurkdjian, and I must say it is beautiful, beautiful. I don't think there are many better fragrances with that price range than this one. It's so good. So if you love rose, you're gonna love it. This one is more of a jammy rose. There's definitely more rose here than in Oud Satin Mood. Also, instead of vanilla, we've got benzoin, so it's not as like doughy and, or you know, almost gourmand leaning. It's not as cushiony, but it's still very sweet, very beautiful, and very long lasting. So I think that for all my Arabian princesses on a budget, this one is going to be absolutely fantastic. So that is Nina Ricci. All right, next one that I have, and it is absolutely beautiful, and that is Montale Arabians Tonka. I adore this fragrance. It has a lot of saffron, rose, sugar, tonka. It's very sweet and very, very strong. Another beauty, another gorgeous beauty that gives you Middle Eastern vibes, that is super long lasting. Pretty much all these fragrances are going to be extremely long lasting because, you know, we're talking about what we're talking about, and here are no light, airy, bubbly scents in here, all right? So yes, another one is Montale Arabians Tonka, guys. You know I love it, and it definitely will give you Arabian Princess vibe, for sure. If you want something even sweeter, even more dense, this is the one to go. This fragrance is also very wearable despite of being so sweet and so strong, because it has that beautiful saffron translucent facet to it. Amazing, just amazing. I love wearing it out as well. So if I want something super duper sweet with added oud, this one is the one to go. So yes, that's Arabian Tonka. When it comes to alternative, I don't have a great alternative to it, but I have something slightly similar. Okay, so this one isn't exactly that similar, but it will give you slight vibe. This one, in my opinion, is way more unisex. It's way more masculine, and that is Swiss Arabian Shaghaf Oud Aswad. And this one also has saffron. It has a lot of rose. It has some cumin, so it's more spicy. It's also drier. It has vanilla in the background, and as it dries down, it gets more and more vanillic. Some people do compare it to Oud Satin Mood, which I don't agree with at all. To me, it's a non-sweet, drier version of Montale Arabians Tonka, if it makes any sense. Like, remove all the sugar, remove all the sweetness, and what is left is this plus a little bit more spice. So yes, if you don't like sweet, but you want something quite wearable, I think Oud Aswad will be amazing. This is definitely more unisex than all the rest that I showed you, but it's still fantastic. Fantastic fragrance and so long lasting. So yes, this is first Swiss Arabian that I have to show you. And then I want to talk about two fragrances that I do not have here, but I have an amazing alternative to them. So the first one that I truly, truly love, that will give you the ultimate Arabian princess vibe, is of course Armani Privé Rose d'Arabie, and it is gorgeous. It has also vanilla, it has patchouli, it has rose. It is just beautiful, you know, like this typical rose oud combination done to absolute perfection. And we also have something slightly more masculine than Rose d'Arabie, which is from Guerlain, and it is of course Santal Royal. And this one is definitely drier. There's added sandalwood, you know, so the woody facet is way more amped up. However, I have something that is the best out of them all, and it's so much cheaper. And this is the fragrance that I talked about to you already. Unfortunately, I don't have my bottle anymore because it completely broke. I could not get the fragrance out. It was just a mess. But I have a decant, fortunately, and that is Ashela from Swiss Arabian. It has a gorgeous bottle, by the way. It's so beautiful. It's like black with beautiful like turquoise and gold engravings. Really, really pretty bottle. And Ashela to me is the best of both worlds when it comes to Rose d'Arabie and Santal Royal. It is just the best. It's so smooth. It doesn't even lean that artificial. It is just amazing. I love Sir Ashela. I love it. It is sweet but mature, but not too mature at all. It is non-cloying but strong. It will give you such a rich woman vibe. Gorgeous, gorgeous. This fragrance, it is more floral. It has vanilla. Of course, it has rose and oud, but it is done to perfection. The oud is very mellow there. Lovely, lovely fragrance. One of my favorite from Swiss Arabian. So I think there is no use, even though I love those two fragrances that I mentioned, Rose d'Arabie by Armani and Guerlain Santal Royal. I think you can absolutely skip on them. Don't spend your money on them and just get one Sir Ashela. And if you want something very, very dry, like, you know, in that Santal Royal realm, or again Montale in Arabians Tonka with completely removed sweetness, Oud Aswad, amazing. So yes, these are the ones that I highly, highly recommend when it comes to that very, very strong, deep rose oud combinations. And last but not least from that whole range is of course the beauty of the beauties, and that is Oud Bouquet from Lancome. And this is just gorgeous, but as I said many times, because it's so strong and so ultra sweet, unfortunately I do not wear it all the time, not as much as I would love to. So that is a massive, massive bummer. And for that matter, even though I love the nose structure, I love everything about it, and it's so long lasting, it is a little bit not worth the price for me, just because I don't wear it so much. Fortunately, I got it on a discount, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean. Yeah, it is beautiful. It is beautiful, but I would only wear it on like 3 occasions. First one would be clubbing. Second one would be like Christmas parties and like very like dead on winter parties. And the third occasion would be traveling to the Middle East, and then I would use it all the time. So I have a way, way cheaper alternative to that. And that is, of course, Shaghaf Oud from Swiss Arabian. So here we have Shaghaf Oud, which is very reflective. And this is basically very, 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 very similar to Oud Bouquet. However, I have a full review comparing these two. So if you're interested for a very in-depth review, go ahead and click the link. To me, Oud Bouquet is way more mellow and not as sharp. It's very smooth of a fragrance, whereas Shaghaf Oud is very strong and sharp. The dry downs are pretty much the same, but the top and the mid is way more harsh in Shaghaf Oud. Nevertheless, it's still a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance that will give you tons of compliments. So yes, depending on your budget, either Oud Bouquet or Shaghaf Oud will give you basically the same thing. So that is that, my darlings. And another one that I highly, 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 highly recommend, also from Swiss Arabian, and that is the fragrance that, in my opinion, is actually the best comparing to those two, and that is Swiss Arabian from the newest collection, the Heritage collection. I only have a decant, so I didn't even bother bringing it in front of the camera. It is called Oud 07, if I'm not mistaken. Oud 01 or Oud 07. I think it's Oud 07. So Oud 07 is incredible. Basically, that is a light wearable version of these with just as gorgeous lasting power and projection. It is just not as in your face like these two can be sometimes. So if you want something fresher, lighter, more summer and daytime appropriate with very, very similar note structure, and what you smell is going to be very similar, I think Oud 07 from Swiss Arabian is actually the best in my opinion, but you know, that's just me. All right, next, what do we have here? Speaking of that collection that I just mentioned, here we have Swiss Arabian Rose 01, and this is absolutely incredible. This is Delina, but stronger and without rhubarb, and to me that is just so delicious. So if I'm not in a mood for anything woody, anything unisex, I want straight up feminine fragrance, but I want to still feel like a very beautiful Arabian princess, you know, and have that vibe, I go for this beautiful rose, which is Rose 01 from that heritage collection. The whole collection is beautiful, okay? The whole collection is beautiful. They have 4 ouds, they have 1 rose, and they have 3 ambers and 3 musks, and they all are incredible. So yes, Rose 01, if you want an incredible but stronger Delina dupe, so to speak, this is hands down incredible. Okay, so that is that. Then we've got, now we are moving into more of rosy scents, all right? Now we have Jo Malone Rose and White Musk Absolu, which in my opinion is actually way better than this Velvet Rose and Oud. If I were to choose, I would not even think I would get this one. So if you are thinking this, okay, this is initially it was only for Middle Eastern market, this collection, but it's widely available now. Also, I will link everything below. But this one is just incredible. This is, I think, my favorite non-gourmand leaning rose. Gorgeous. It does have oud again, but it's not prominent at all. It's more of a ambery, musky scent with a beautiful, fresh, but very, very red and deep rose. That's how I would describe it. And it has gorgeous lasting power. It's perfect to mix with other fragrances as well, because the fragrance is quite linear. I love it, and yeah, this is one of my favorites. So that is that. Another gorgeous rose, and this one is also on the fresher side, is unfortunately very pricey, and that is from Fragrance du Bois, and that is Oud Rose Intense, and this is such a beauty. Yeah, it is a fresher, also not too sweet of a rose. It has quite a bit of fruits to it. Beautiful, just beautiful. It is a gorgeous oud rose combination for the summertime, in my opinion. It is long lasting. I know it's expensive, but there are not many fragrances that are ultra expensive, and I swear by them, and I will tell you that you have to have them. It's worth it. I think that, you know, every fragrance has one way or the other, there is an alternative to it, right? But this one, actually, I haven't smelled like anything like it before. So I think you will really love it. So that is Oud Rose Intense from Fragrance du Bois. And the bottle, guys, it's so beautiful, isn't it? So yeah. Okay, guys, I didn't tell you that this video is gonna be long, but it's gonna be long. But we're almost over. Another slightly rosy fragrance still, and we're done with rose pretty much. It is Instant Crush from Mancera, and I personally adore this fragrance. It doesn't really remind me of Baccarat Rouge whatsoever, but in itself it is gorgeous. It does have saffron, it's also slightly citrusy, it's ambery, it's vanillic, it has patchouli, it has rose, it has so many good things in it. Beautiful fragrance, very unisex, but it is sweet. Sweet fragrance, but very sexy and very Middle Eastern. So yes, instant crush, just quickly breezing through it because I don't want to bore you. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 fragrances to talk to you about. So I hope you are with me. The first one is Arabian Princess with no rose, no oud, no nothing. It is tuberose and caramel, and that is a Vidian Black 5. I got this bottle from my boyfriend and I'm so happy to have it. This one is so glorious. One of the best tuberose fragrances for sure. If you love sweet, if you love gourmand leaning fragrances, you're gonna love it. Also, this fragrance is very rich, very long lasting, and also it's so well blended that you will not distinguish notes too much. Also, what I have to say, it is strong, it is quite mature, so I only save it for special occasions, okay? It is also one of my favorites, so that's why it's here. And yes, if you want to be Arabian Princess but you don't like rose, you don't like oud, Vidian, they have beautiful fragrances in general, so I highly recommend checking them out. Another one, when you hate rose, hate oud, I have beautiful amber vanilla tobacco fragrance that is just to die for. It's one of my favorites, and it is Boucheron Ambre d'Alexandrie, and I've been raving about this fragrance for so many months now. Incredible. Okay, I don't want to spray another fragrance here, but it is absolutely incredible. I love wearing this. I love wearing this. It is gorgeous, long lasting, but non-offensive, which I love. And it just gives me such gorgeous Middle Eastern vibes without being rose and oud. So yeah, not many people smell like that, let me tell you. Ambre is exquisite. And now I have just 2 fragrances with me, which are dupes of the fragrance that I want to talk to you about. And that is from Initio Parfum Privé, and that is Oud For Greatness, which is gorgeous, very unisex, not too sweet. To me it leans quite masculine, but I still actually really like it. The more I smell it, the more I love it. It's super expensive, so I do not have it. You know, it's not that much of a love for me to actually purchase it, to be honest. But I have nice dupes, okay? And the first one is Oud For Glory from Latafa, which they even duped the whole bottle, which is a little bit weird for me, especially me as a lawyer. You know, it clicks for me and it's just, something is off here. But okay, that aside, gorgeous fragrance, super similar. To me, this one is more of a nutmeg, I think, than Oud For Greatness, but they're still like 90% the same. So yes, that is Latafa. And the newest one, which I also think is actually the best, to be honest, it is from beautiful brand. I love this brand, Al Haramain, and this is the Al Haramain Oud Adam, and it comes in this gorgeous packaging. As you guys know, those Middle Eastern brands love to be extra with their presentation, and you actually open it like this, so you have like a whole shebang here, and this is the fragrance. So this is how it looks like, and you take it out like that. And I must say, this bottle is so classy, so gorgeous, very beautiful. And you have a wooden cap which is magnetic, and it's a very strong magnet. Like, look, gorgeous. So yes, I adore the presentation. So in Oud Adam, I'm gonna quickly read you the notes because I don't want to miss anything. We've got saffron, we've got nutmeg, we've got lavender. Then in the heart we've got agarwood, and in the base we have patchouli and musk. So the note breakdown is slightly similar, quite similar to Oud For Greatness. However, I think they accentuated completely different notes, and this one is way more wearable for me. So yeah, this one to me is just more feminine. It's sweeter with the similar DNA. So I definitely prefer this version of such note structure. Yeah, it is just, I really love it, guys. It's so intoxicating, okay? It's so intoxicating, just as intoxicating as Initio, but in a different way, okay? In a different way. This to me is way more Middle Eastern. This has that slight dryness to it with added sweetness. The patchouli is here definitely prominent. But I just love it. It reminds me also slightly from time to time to Instant Crush from Mancera. The patchouli, I guess it's very similar in here. So yes, I think if you love Instant Crush, you will love this. If you love Oud For Greatness, you will love this. It's definitely not a dupe, but the note structure is similar. But it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous to me. It's nicer. For my personal wear. And guys, the bottle is so cool, and that wooden cap, so gorgeous. I mean, the presentation is out of this world, I must say. I think it's definitely one of my favorite Al Haramain bottles, and it's gonna look so nice on a vanity. So yes, that is that, guys, and I think that I am finally done. I hope so. So to just sum up, definitely try the Swiss Arabian Heritage Collection, both Rose 01 and Oud 07. Also Oud 01 is great. So the Ouds and Rose, fantastic for that Arabian vibe. Kayalis are the easiest, I think, to wear. Day or night, doesn't matter, and good price. Oud Satin Mood and Arabians Tonka are just my favorites for their sweetness. And my favorite rawest rose is Jo Malone Rose and White Musk Absolu. And yeah, guys, I think I'm finally done. That is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give this a thumbs up. And also please leave me a comment. What is your favorite Arabian Middle Eastern scent? I think here is a nice selection, but the number of fragrances is constantly growing, so I cannot include everything. But yeah, nevertheless, I hope you loved it, and see you in my next one. Bye!